really easy to set up, so easy to navigate the app.
In this video, I will be unboxing, setting up, and reviewing the SolarCam D1 kit by AOSU. This solar-powered wireless security camera kit comes in a very nice box. It's quite large because it contains 2 cameras, a home-based system, the power adapter, an Ethernet cable, position sticker which is used for the positioning brackets, the screws for the brackets and also the fixings for those, as well as a USB-C charging cable, 2 security stickers, and then the guide itself, a quick setup guide. Product's really well packaged. As you can see, it's in some nice styrofoam and it is secure, and it looks really good as well. It's quite a nice experience unboxing this product. Taking a closer look at the cameras, each one has antennas which are adjustable. They have a status LED which is on the front, an infrared LED as well as spotlights, a PIR motion sensor, the lens, and also a microphone. And underneath on the one side you can see there is a USB-C port as well as a speaker for two-way communication, a power button as well as a reset button. And then looking at the home base, there is a USB port, an Ethernet port, a sync button and power port, as well as an LED and speaker. So that's the unboxing, and there are all the devices that came in the box. So now to set up the camera kit, what we need to do as per the quick setup guide is take the home base, as you can see what I'm doing now, and take the RJ45 network cable and plug that into your home router or internet, whatever you might be using, a modem and that. Plug that into the home base, and then also plug in the power for the home base. And then you will see the green ring light up, and then this will start flashing. So while that's rebooting and coming on and everything, and it's doing its initialization and getting an IP address from your router or your modem at home, the next thing to do is scan the code within the startup guide. So I'm doing that now, and what this does is it directs you to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and then you can install the AOSU app. So let that download and install, and once that's installed, open the app, and then it will ask you if you want to allow notifications, so you can say yes or only when the app is being used. And then once that's done, you go into the app and you can either log in or you can create an account. Now, this is the first time we're setting it up, so we're going to create an account. Follow the steps for creating an account, and then you will get sent a confirmation email to verify your email address, verify your email, and then the app will allow you to log in and start setting up the cameras and everything. So once we're in the app, we can click add devices, and what it does is then it notifies you to enable Bluetooth, because that's what's around with regards to the home base, and that's so the phone can connect. And once that's done, the devices will then start adding themselves. So the home base gets added automatically because it's also on the network. And what it does is the home base has already been configured for the 2 cameras. So you don't need to scan as per the app was showing there, where you scan the camera codes or add multiple devices. It's already done that for you. So you can see the 2 cameras popping up. But the cameras are not charged currently, so they will not show up. You'll see those spinning icons there turn to orange ones, which will say that they are not connected. So what we need to do is charge them. So plugging in the cables provided in the box, the light will go green once they're plugged in, and they will start charging. Now it takes a couple of hours to charge them fully, so I did leave them for a bit of time just so they have enough power to turn on, and then we can carry on with the setup. So I'll let that go for a bit. One thing with these cameras, the battery life is quite good. So depending on how much movement you have outside and how many triggers it picks up and all of that, the batteries can actually last up to 1 month. So that's really good. So going back to setting up the cameras, we can see they're plugged in, they've got enough power, and then you press the power button for about 5 seconds. And once it comes on, you will hear a little sound. So that will play now for you.
Hello.
That's the sound that it plays when it switches on. So you know that the camera is now switching on and it's initializing with the home base and connecting. And the same for the second camera. You hold down the power button and the same sound will play.
Hello.
So now both cameras are on, initializing with the home base and getting connected. So you will see now they start picking up my hands because I moved in front of them, and they start moving around and all that kind of stuff. So they are already working and triggering, and you'll see some notifications at the top of the phone, which is what we allowed in the beginning, allow notifications in the app. That starts coming through. So the cameras are picking up and they are working. And now we just basically need to configure them and get them set up in the app correctly. So I closed the app and put it back on, and then what happened was it picked up firmware installation. So the home base requires a firmware installation as well as the 2 cameras. So what I did was I let those firmware updates run, and that took a few minutes for each camera and for the home base. So everything is up to date with the latest version of everything. So we're all good to go, and we can see our notifications coming through. And then once you go into the app, you can also see what the cameras look like. So going into the app, you can also see what kind of talking tone you can have. You can have a deep tone. You can look around with the app, which is quite cool. On the camera, there's a panoramic view, which I'll show you how that works. I think that's a really cool feature of these cameras. So the 2 cameras show up and 1 home base. And just going into the home base, you can see it has detected the 2 solar panel cameras. And then selecting one of the cameras, you can rename the cameras. You can share the device, you can set up motion detection, alarms, notifications, audio and video settings. You can check the battery management. You can schedule when the camera should be on or off. So you can switch it off, say during school run, for example. You don't want it to be picking up multiple motions and things like that. So that's really nice. There's an LED status lights. You can have that as well. Now with these cameras, they have human only detection. There's no detection for zones like some of the other AOSU cameras, but this one does detect movement and people. It also picks up animals and that, so that will pick up detection, but it doesn't pick up movement like wind with trees and leaves and things like that. So that is minimal. These cameras do come with local storage of 32 gigabytes each, as well as 60-day loop recording, so that's quite good. You can also get online cloud storage, so there's various packages you can take out for the amount of cameras and things, so you can browse through those and see what's affordable to you. The one thing I did want to show you underneath the video and audio, a nice setting they do have is the smooth mode. Now this is available for networks that aren't very strong, so if your network signal isn't very strong, select smooth mode and it will make sure that the videos are recorded quite nicely. But I've selected 2K mode, so the videos are still quite high quality. That records quite nicely, and the video you'll see later on is quite high quality. Then going into schedule setup, you can see you can set the days here for weekdays, weekends and times, so you might not want the cameras to be triggered at certain times. The other cool thing is the smart display access. So you can link these up to your home Google as well as your Amazon Alexa, so you can voice activate them as well and display them on your screens around the house if everything's connected up. So that's a really cool feature as well. The other thing I like about these cameras is that it comes with 2 modes. So one of them is the power saving mode, which records around 20 seconds per clip, and the other one is a more longer recording period of around 60 seconds per clip, so you don't miss anything that might be happening more consistently, so you don't have any of that. Setting up the cameras is also really easy. So between 2 and 3 meters off the ground, choose an area that is not covered in shade because the solar panels need to charge, so make sure it's very bright and sunny. Now as you can see on the screen here, what's really cool is I'm going to show you this feature now. You can move around with the 360 option with the arrows, but when pressing the 360 button in the middle, you can see the camera's moving all the way around, and what it does is it takes a full view from left to right and it places it in a panoramic view below. As you can see there, you'll see what it does now. It puts the image there, and what you can do now is you touch on any part of that image and you can see the camera will move and then focus on that area. So that's really cool. So once you've got that area outside or wherever you want scanned in that 360 view, you can then just tap on any of those parts and it would move to that part on the screen and it will film that area. So that's a really cool feature of these cameras, which I really like. Well done. Then some of the options at the top, you can alter between standard definition and ultra HD. You can record live, you can take screenshots from it, you can switch on the sound, you can go full screen, you can see the quality of that. Then you have the full 360 and all the menu options again with the alarm and illumination and all that kind of stuff. All of it is still available in full screen. Going back to the smaller screen, you can also go back to see the local storage or the cloud storage, and then you can see what's been recorded. So you can see here today it shows staying, so it means that the object stayed and all those kind of things. So that's really good. It's got a whole timeline of recordings. And then going back to the options, there's even more underneath the 360 view where you can control the camera. So there's spotlights, as you can see now, they're LEDs that come on, so that can illuminate things in the evening. You can talk as well to people or anyone who's in the cameras outside. So there's two-way communication. You just need to allow the microphone access to be used during the app, and also tracking. So that's really nice. It will actually move and follow someone around with the tracking option. As you can see now, this cool feature is watching both cameras live together. So you can switch on all the cameras available and see what's going on. And then again, there's some smart security options which you can have if you leave the house. You can have it on home or away mode or things like that. Really cool features. I really am enjoying this AOSU camera kit. Moving on to the installation, I did a time lapse of myself installing the cameras really fast. Use the stencil with the 3 little screw markings, put the bracket on, slide the camera on, and that is it. Done. So the camera is now set up just around the corner there, as you can see in the top left corner there on that wall. So what I'll do is I will walk now and see if it picks me up. And we'll see how it goes. There we go. It's moving and it's following me. So if I move here, you can see, I'll just zoom in a bit, and then as I walk, you can see how it's tracking me. So that's pretty cool. That's really good. So it's in a nice spot for the sun. So that's one thing you do need to do, is make sure it's in the sun, because these are solar powered, so they do need bright lights to charge the batteries. And it's yeah, it's picking me up, moving along. So really good. Now I wanted to install the camera on the corner of the wall in the front of the house, and with this what I wanted to do was use this bracket which I got that can connect to the edge of a wall, so you can see down both walls as these cameras can rotate 360 degrees. I thought that was quite a cool way of getting it to view down both walls rather than just one. So I used this bracket and I fixed that to the wall, and I also fixed the AOSU brackets to it, as you can see over here, onto the piece of wood, and then I just slid the camera on. Made sure it wasn't under the eaves so that the sun would still reach the solar panel, and in the next piece of video you will see what it looked like once it was all set up. So I thought it was actually quite nice, and it's also right underneath my Wi-Fi extender, so the network signal is really strong. This then follows with a few tests on the cameras.
Sound test 3 meters away. Six meters away. 10 meters away.
I did notice the cameras lost track of me once I hit the path behind those bushes, but this seems to change in the light. So when there's really bright sunlight, and if the sunlight is facing the lenses, it does seem to have a bit of a hard time tracking. But in the evenings, it seems to pick up people walking down that path. So that's just one thing to remember. I then tested the cameras in the evening. So here we can see myself filming in the view in night vision, and you can see the sensors, the infrared sensors picking me up. So those are illuminated on the camera, and that is showing me moving around in black and white. And then in the next video, I switch on the LED lights on the camera. So they're really bright, as you can see. And then the video that it produces is full color. So you can still get full color from this even in the evenings. And then from the other camera in the back, we can see over here what the camera picks up when the dogs go outside. So it does pick up that movement, and it does move. You can see there's a bit of rain, car passing. It's picking up all the sound, so it's really clear. And then in the day, you can see as well how clear that image is, and it's really impressive. I'm actually really impressed with these cameras. I really do like them.
So what are my final thoughts on this AOSU camera kit? I took the camera down just to talk over a few things about this camera kit, which I think are really good. So there's some pros and cons which I want to discuss. One of the things which I think would be handy, which they could probably look at developing, is where the clip slides onto the base here. That slides in and then it clicks into place. For an extra bit of security, I know the top piece that slides in here, you could probably, I think there are 2 holes already, but you could probably put a screw in there that could tighten, so it just holds that in place so it can't just be pulled off. So yeah, so that's just an extra added on thing, which I think is quite cool. But the only thing is you can't really do anything because of the panel that's fixed in place. Other than that, it's really good. You got the antenna, which can move all the way down. The only thing is if it is down like that and the camera moves, then this would be in the way of the vision, in the field of view. So that's another thing. So I keep them up like that, so they're out of the vision. Moving them forward, you can put them like that if you want. The movement's really good. The tracking's really good. As you can see, it's really quiet. You can hardly hear it. You can hear it on the app. The other things I wanted to talk about was the cross-camera tracking. Now, I really like that feature of these AOSU cameras. So if this camera is over here and it's filming in the front garden or back garden or wherever you have it, and you have another camera somewhere else, within a 3-minute period, if that same object is picked up on 2, it stitches the 2 together and it does a cross-camera tracking. So that I really like about them. The other thing is the customer service is really good. I've been communicating with the guys back and forth with some of the things and asking about the features and how they work. They've been really responsive. So top-notch customer service, which is always good. The other thing is make sure you've got a strong signal to the cameras. So if you do have Wi-Fi and your Wi-Fi routers on one side of the house and your home base, which connects to these, which I showed in the video, that needs to be within a fairly near distance so that they do work, because they are wireless. They do have cabled cameras, which obviously don't require that. So if you have a really big house, this camera kit might not be the one for you, but it is a really good camera kit for what it is. You can also zoom in on the videos up to 6 times, so that's also really nice. So if you spot something you can't really quite make out what it is, you can zoom in on that little piece. 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz connection. I do like the self-charging and the solar panel. It shows that it's charging. It shows it's 100%. I really like that. With other cameras I've got, you've got to always take the battery out, charge the battery, put it in, or get a separate solar panel, put that in. Opening the app, connecting to the cameras is really quick, even when I'm not at home on the Wi-Fi and outside on the mobile network. Really quick connection, really responsive app, so that's another positive. I do like the 360 view, so it can go all the way around, and it does 90 degrees, so you've got that angle as well, and you can see it moving now as it's picking me up, so that's really good. And yeah, the only other thing was the sunlight. If there's really strong sunlight behind the object, then sometimes it has a bit of an issue trying to track, which most cameras do anyway. But other than that, it's a really good kit, really easy to set up, so easy to navigate the app. Customer support's great, the price is good, the kit's really good, it just works. There's a lot of positives for it. For the price point, it's really good. So if you've got a small home looking to get some cameras, this AOSU camera kit is really good, so I would recommend it. But bigger houses, maybe not so much. But yeah, I did enjoy reviewing this, and hopefully I can review some others in the future. So well done. Thank you, AOSU.